Hello, I'm Elgato, and yesterday I livestreamed my Let's Play world but in the Village and Pillage update for the very first time, and one of the questions I kept receiving almost non-stop was why exactly do your villagers look nothing like my villagers? In fact, why do they look nothing like any villagers that naturally spawn in Minecraft? And the answer to this one is because they're not any villagers that naturally spawn, but somehow they did happen here on my world, and let me explain how, because for most people you might assume the answer is, oh, it's a resource pack, it's a mod or something, but as you know, I like to play pure vanilla Minecraft, and today I wanted to talk about not just this one Easter egg, but several Easter eggs which are in this update and which tell us some interesting things about the Minecraft lore, which I wanted to talk about in today's video. So with that said, let's dive straight into the explanation of this one first of all, because the reason my villagers look like this as opposed to what you're used to in Minecraft is because they're not regular villagers, they're swamp villagers. So even though Minecraft only has 5 separate villager types, there's plains, there's desert, there's savanna, there's the ice biome, then there's the taiga villagers, there are also 2 other types of villagers that don't have a village to spawn in, and this is one of the 2 types, it is the swamp villager. So the speculation used to be that they were going to add a swamp village, but clearly that hasn't happened. But even if they have got swamp villagers with no swamp village, how do you have them in your regular Minecraft world then? So as it turns out, if 2 Minecraft villagers breed, you can actually end up getting yourself some villagers of the biome they breed into. So you can get yourself, say, some swamp villagers by starting a brand new village inside a swamp. But I didn't do that. This is my oldest running village. This village is literally from like 2012 now. How exactly do you have a 2012 village that somehow is filled with villagers that are swamp villagers, a 2019 feature? And the answer to that one is when you first load up a world from before Village and Pillage, so if this is your first time, you haven't played the update yet, if you load up an old world, depending on the biome your villagers are in, that's the biome they'll convert to. And as it so turns out, my world, my village just happens to be in a part of the world that used to be plains when it first spawned, but then, it used to happen way back. Every update would shift the biomes around. The biomes later shifted and it became a swamp. So I have a regular village, a plains village, an old plains village, I guess, inside a swamp, and that meant all of the villagers converted into swamp villagers, and now this is technically a swamp village. So the actual, things about that doesn't really mean too much. There's a bit of a glitch where there's way too many nitwits around. So this guy has a red mushroom in his back pocket, a brown mushroom in his front. This is the guy you'll see all around my village, and they're useless. You can't trade with them. Like, they have nothing to offer. It's just like, oh yeah, we've got way too many nitwits. So there is a downside to this. It seems this is a swamp village glitch, but it means that all of the other villages we have all look distinct and different, and that's kind of fun in my opinion. So unique, distinct villages for the swamp, but I also mentioned how you can not only find them here, you can also use this exact same technique to breed you some villagers in the jungle as well. This is one that I think is rather cool because, yeah, the jungle villagers, unlike the swamp villagers, they don't look lame because they've got green garbs on. They've got this little ocelot pelt on their shoulders, and they look super cool in my opinion. They also don't seem to have the same bug where you get a bunch of nitwits, so that seems to be a big benefit. But yeah, look at all of these jungle villagers. They all look super distinct and unique. They've got the same basic traits to them, like, oh, you'll find a sunflower hat sometimes, and you'll find this is like the guy with the furnace stuff. But the fact that they all look just a little bit better because of their fun clothes, I like that a lot. And here's the best bit: if you do decide to make some jungle villagers, or you want to make some swamp villagers and make your own village around them, because you no longer need doors to breed villagers, it's based on beds instead. This means that you actually can have walls surrounding the village instead. So if you want to lock them in a cage, you can now do that, and they'll still breed and they can still be successful. So yeah, big step backwards for villager rights, I would say. On the one hand, it's great that they breed based on beds, so now they can sleep every night. On the other hand, they're not going to be allowed doors anymore, so keep that in mind. I think of doing it like an updated, the fascist state / village tutorial video, because a lot of people are curious as to how the new mechanic works, and basically it's just make a bunch of beds, so I'll be doing that sometime soon. But all you need to know for now is there are new villagers, there's 2 types, it's really exciting, and here's the best bit: that isn't the end of the weird Easter eggs, because I mean, besides other stuff like, oh, if you pull out emeralds, they'll show you what they sell, so you don't have to open their interface, which is quite a handy thing. Like, oh, he sells bookshelves, really weirdly shaped bookshelves, but you can see what people sell just by offering them emeralds, and they'll offer you the thing they sell in exchange, which I think is kind of fun. Oh look, rabbit stew, what a good deal. Now I know about it just because I have the emerald out. So yeah, pro tip with Toy Cat right there, use an emerald and they'll show you what they have to sell. But also, if we go to the Nether, you'll see how Minecraft villagers can break one of the most fundamental rules of Minecraft. If you don't know, you can't sleep in the Nether or the End. If you try to do so, this happens. Even in creative, it's a huge deal. It's a huge explosion. It's a big thing that happens because sleeping in either the End or the Nether causes a huge explosion. You're breaking the time continuum, or you're breaking one of the fundamental rules of the Minecraft universe. However, if villagers get here, there isn't a Nether villager, at least not yet. But something you can find is that if villagers do spawn here, one, they'll spawn as plain villagers, despite, For some reason, I guess the Nether is counted as a plains biome, which is a weird way to count that one. But also, if you do find some villagers, you'll see how they're doing this right here. They are actually villagers in the Nether going to sleep, and they're sleeping in their beds just fine. It counts as their spawn point, and they're gonna wake up the next morning just fine. See, we just saw one go to sleep right there. Isn't that interesting? I think what's just as interesting is the fact that we got a baby cat spawning here, because, you know, the fact that there's a village here means that baby cats spawn. It doesn't matter if it's the Nether, a place, you know, kittens really should not be, but you can find kittens in the Nether, which proves that these beds are not only beds they can sleep in, they're valid beds for the purpose of village, they are legit spawn points. This is technically a legitimate Minecraft village, which, again, the fact that the rules of the village has changed so much is really quite a shocking thing by itself, but the fact that they can sleep in a bed, but even if we kick this guy off the bed, which is going to knock him out, and then we're going to try and sleep there. Do you see what that does to the village? Some pretty bad things. I hope the cat didn't die, but you get the point. They're like, wow, that's an interesting thing. We, as the player, do not have the ability to sleep in Minecraft. The villagers do have the ability to sleep. So this tells us that one, again, because bear in mind, this is kind of the lore implications. This is like what does the gameplay tell us about the lore? Obviously, the exact way this was intended is probably like, maybe they didn't think about it, but every single time they make a big gameplay decision about something like this, it does affect how the Minecraft universe behaves, and therefore, how we perceive the Minecraft universe, and therefore we can assume by the fact that villagers can sleep in beds, but if we try to, it's a pretty serious act of terrorism, as far as I can tell. But yeah, you can tell just based on that one fact that villagers and humans are not the same, or you and the villagers are not the same. If villagers are the humans of this universe, you are not in the same category as them. There is some fundamental difference between you and the character as far as the universe perceives you, because the way you use beds apparently causes them to explode. Something about you, allows you to sleep in the overworld, but not in the Nether in the end. But that rule does not apply to villagers, and if I had to interpret this, I would say that it shows the player character perceives time in an entirely different way to the rest of the Minecraft universe. There is something about you being a player character that means that when you go to sleep in the overworld, you literally skip all the way through the night in a matter of 3 seconds. Whereas villagers, they actually have to stay in the bed, they have to lay there all the way through the night. He's going to be here another 5 to 10 minutes now until it is daytime. Even though there's no daytime in the Nether, the villager has to sleep. This is because the villager has some actual day clock, whereas you, the player character, you don't need to sleep ever. The phantoms will come after you after a certain amount of time, but you still don't need to sleep. You can go literally, hundreds of Minecraft days, thousands of Minecraft days, millions of Minecraft days without needing to sleep. The reason you sleep is because you somehow can use it as a time like teleportation device, a time traveling machine that only allows you to travel up to 10 minutes into the future. Whether you believe this is because of the bed being magic or because of the player being magic, that's up for you to say, but I would say it's more likely that the player just has some very bizarre, attributes, and, the fact that there's only one of you ever in a Minecraft world until you invite your friends. Most Minecraft worlds have just one of you. There is something about you that makes you the hero that wants to, do all the things, slay the dragon, whether that makes you a hero or a villain, you can decide, but you are the main character. You are the savior, or the thing that was prophesized in this world. And you don't need to sleep because there's no sun and there's no moon. The only things that would affect your ability to want to sleep in the Nether in the end are because of the fact that there's no sun, there's no moon, there's no difference between night and day for you, the player. So instead, when you try to sleep in a bed, the game or the game universe, or maybe you can even think of this as you literally having magical powers inside of you that you haven't tapped into, whichever way you want to foresee this sort of thing, that is what is causing this huge explosion. You can't sleep, and to really, set that point home, we're not just going to make the bed not work, we're going to make it so it really explodes everywhere. But yeah, sleeping is a thing you can do in the Nether. It's just not a thing you can do for no reason. You as the player character are magical, you as the player character are different, and that is why NPC villagers are literally a lower class citizen. We've proven it now. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Just going over a little bit of an Easter egg. I think the villagers in this update are super interesting, and maybe you do too. And I guess let me know in the comments if you have any other fun theories, because the villagers changing so much really has changed a lot about the Minecraft world, and I think that's quite interesting, and maybe you do too. So yeah, let me know what you're thinking on all these sorts of things in the comments down below. Let me know also if you think villagers are the sort of thing you'd like to see more about, because I think there's so much interesting stuff just below the surface that you totally should play around with them, and that's why I'm going to recommend that you do so. And also why I'm probably going to update my tutorial on how to farm villagers, because you might want a bunch of villagers, you might want jungle villagers, you might want other types of villagers, and I feel like it might be fun to teach you how to do that. So yeah, with that said, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you did all enjoy it, because I'm going to see you all in the next one. Goodbye.